There's a small little red D at either end, the smallest red D, and to score all it's going to be is...
Yeah, so the Lighthouse, for some reason, I've had names that have grown through PDS, so we have ninjas, assassins, pineapples, which might sound a bit crazy, but there's references to them. The Lighthouse is something that really allows coaches and coach developers to really understand a reference point to allow people to connect back to the conversation of success. So the Lighthouse is pure and simple is when you first start working with a coach or anyone, you ask them, what is the vision? What does it look like? What is it we're working to? What if I was to see it and hear it, what would it be I would see and I would hear? And now that may be for grassroots. That may be a coach saying, Mark, I want every kid to be engaged and to enjoy every experience. Okay, their words, but what would I see? What would that look like and sound like? And then when they describe it, we go, okay, there's our lighthouse. There's our marker. So when we go on the coaching journey, we keep referencing back to our lighthouse. Okay, so where is this helping us develop to the lighthouse? So when coaches get caught up in the technical and tactical, want to get frustrated in other areas, we remind me what the lighthouse is. Okay, where does it sit with the lighthouse? A high performance team might have a self-managing, decision-making, problem-solving team that is relentless, that can interact with each other, adapt live. Okay, what does that look and sound like? Well, there's your lighthouse. So the lighthouse is our reference that guides us through the journey of growth for coach developers, mentors, coaches, and we share it with the players. So the players understand the journey. They're not walking through fog. They see the vision and we can reference it as we grow. In many ways, a lot of the development of coaches is unsupervised. So they can go on a training course, they may have mentors and coach developers, but you don't see them that often. So the hot reviews and the cold reviews are a way of keeping in touch. We use WhatsApp or Slack and other social medias that are free. And we're asking the coaches to be able to effectively self-evaluate their own behavior first, then the behavior and the performance of the coaches they're working with and also the players. The hot review is immediately after a game or immediately after a practice. So you're still in the emotional state that you were when you were coaching. So it gives us that accuracy of, okay, so what are you feeling and seeing and reviewing and concluding when you're in the moment of the emotion? The cold review is then a day or so afterwards or after you've seen a video of yourself where you've had time to reflect and you do the same sequence, self, other coaches, players. Behavior is always first. What we're looking at then is there any differences? Generally, the cold review is more accurate. So what we're looking at is, if there's a difference, it's generally the emotions that are interfering with the accuracy of the review. So now we're understanding that. We can put in interventions to support the coach to be more accurate in the moment. Now, where that's really special is, if we want a coach to be aware of, am I being part of the solution right now or am I being part of the problem? If I can recognize it live, I can do something about it. So it's developing the self-awareness and then giving them tools to actually know how to adjust to be part of the solution, not be part of the problem. Yeah, so the challenge when we're doing reviewing or we want coaches to review and we want players to review and coach developers is, sometimes people can be very generalized and grey. So a great example is when you ask players, okay, so review what happened there, they can say, well, communication. Now, communication is a generalization, but that's not really giving us much. So specifically, what do you mean? Well, when we were going on the width there in the defence, there was a player behind me just marking me to the left. And what I needed was one of my teammates to go, Jimmy, marker on the left corner. So now it's specific and it's clear. So I didn't get that, coach. So that's an example of communication is not really telling me anything, but the specifics of the situation is. So when we're asking coaches to review from the coach developer, when we're asking them to analyze, if it's specific, two things. One, we're getting data to allow us to start the dialogue. But secondly, it's allowing them to actually know the answer and not think, I'm not too sure, so I can give a grey response, which is going to allow them to make decisions or put in effective interventions. So the specifics is really key. And I think sometimes we get caught up in using common words, using common statements, but actually we don't really know what happened. It's just something everybody says. Number one for any coach, even if you have no training and support, is film yourself coaching. film yourself in a game. I use the cameras you can put on your chests because they're pretty cheap now. Chest harness record. Do it often enough so the players forget it's there, you forget it there, and just be you. Then just watch it back and just take some time notes. Don't look at the technical and tactical, but look at your behaviour, what you're saying, how you're saying it, the interaction. Who's even looking at you? Are you talking when they're wandering away? Are you actually giving them questions that's giving you the answer anyway? To allow you just to be accurate on, I thought I was doing this, but actually I'm doing this. Now, once you've done that, what's really useful is if you can find another coach, doesn't have to be the same sport, to go, can I share this with you on my notes, and can we sit down over coffee and just have a discussion about it? And that will allow you somebody to actually see from a different angle, to allow you to identify what you're doing well and what you can improve on. Then just pick one thing, one work on, and then agree what acceptable and unacceptable would look like and excellent would look like, and just pursue that and just keep referencing against it. Set that as your lighthouse. And with no training, that's going to help you be more aware to allow you to make better decisions interacting with your players.